Hello, everyone. This evening's student spotlight is going to be kind of twofold, if you will. In your pile in front of you, you will notice that we have a student calendar. And so we have a short video clip from the student who created that calendar. We'll start with that, if we can. Yep.
Hi, my name is Kevin. I am a third-year graduate student in engineering technology and in the Gilroy High Sciences here. I am the creator of a wonderful calendar to see this year. Not only did I do that, but I did photography as well. Have a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
So I hope you enjoyed that video clip as much as we did, and we hope you enjoy the calendar as well. Our main student spotlight for this night is metal fabrication, and Mr. Lyle Taylor is the instructor.
Good evening, everybody. Chris, come on up here, boys. Come on. There you go, get on the camera. There you go. I'm not up in ascending order, like the Von Traps. That's right. A little pitchy. Like Mrs. Aiken said, my name is Lyle Taylor. I'm the metal fabrication instructor here at ECTS. This is my third year of being here. I got a good host of boys here tonight that are part of the metal fab program. I got a level 1, Brock Reitnauer from McDowell. Gabe Fortin is a level 3 from Fort LaBeouf. I got Lincoln Turner from General McLean. He's a level 1. And then Michael Spires is a level 3. He's from Wattsburg. So we're going to take a little field trip down to the shop and show you guys kind of what we do down there and what we're working with. So
I think this is the second time we had
Yeah.
people.
Do you have girls?
Oh yes, so there is actually, yes, this is the
These
second
guys
time
are
we've
kind,
done
these
this.
guys are kind of homely, I have to say.
Yeah, well, we try. Mike came from wrestling practice. So yeah, we have currently right now we have 7 females in between all of the classes, all 3 of the grades there. So, and our current enrollment numbers are 38 new applications with a priority setting of 1, which means that we're their first choice to come in here. So we can take roughly 15 to 16 incoming level 1. So we're doing pretty well with enrollment numbers moving forward. So, any other questions?
I know I got to meet the young ladies a couple times when we had open houses. They were pretty impressive.
Yeah, if any of you came to open house, we had a lot of the girls there for open house, kind of doing the walkthroughs and stuff like that. All right, let's go down.
I think it made it this year. So they snuck it.
Did you as a level 1? Yeah, Mike's level 4. Well, Brock's level, no, he's level 2. Listen, I was on the spot. I'm happy to use this. Well,
He knew all that, you know, he knew all the terms, he knew all. Okay, just, yeah, he always said, hold the light. That's what I had to do.
I'm not surprised. I keep telling you, you should listen to you. You're gonna decide to do it.
Yeah, by association.
I run mine, they can call me on. I said, once you become sergeant, you're a professional.
You know, what's really cool about that is to see the excitement in the instructors.
Oh, yeah.
Eyes and face. That's what's cool about that. Really likes teaching these kids.
I, you know, not only in the shop, but we need welders out in jobs, you know, for certified welders, for putting steel together and fabricating stuff. There's all sorts of stuff that just gets fabricated. Angles, plates, and whatever, all that.
No, there's the union for,
Oh, hush.
well, steel, is it the pipe fitters or?
The ironworkers.
Just up the road here.
Yeah.
One of the guys that's on the board, with me, he's part of it, they're dying for it.
Oh, they're clamoring for people. Absolutely right. You can't get enough certified welders.
If you wanna travel,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
you can do really well.
Yeah.
Not that you can't be.
No, you gotta be, you
But you gotta,
gotta be not afraid of heights either sometimes. But yeah, those guys are, they do an amazing job.
Sorry, Mr. President.
It's all right. All right, transition center van.
I just wanted to talk to you about this. Of course, this has been one of those two-year ordeals, if you can recall. We did have a bid, and actually wasn't a bid, it was a CoStar price a couple of years ago. And of course, as I informed you and the superintendent, that CoStar bid went to waste when Ford shut down their plants and stuff like that. Well, again, no one's making or giving a CoStar price anymore for vehicles. And so we went out to bid and we went through the bid process. And so this evening you'll see a motion up there about this van. And of course, we only had one bidder, and again, it was out there for 3 weeks. But again, the superintendents want me to pursue this. And so again, hopefully they spoke to you, but it'll be coming up for your vote. But I just wanted to talk about this transition center van with you. If there's any questions here, I can talk about it a little more. But again, this is for the transition center, which has 9 of the school districts as members of that consortium. Okay?
So how's it paid for then?
It's going to be paid for divided by 9. All right? Yep. So
Go
divided by
back to
9.
those, you didn't have a grant for it.
No, we didn't have a grant for this, no, and again, so, but this will be divided by 9, and all the superintendents already had funding set aside for the CoStar price, so it went up about $1,800 per district and stuff, so they want to pursue that, so, okay. After that, we're going to the 23-24 ECTS first choice. I thought I'd give you an idea of what's going on with applications right now. As you can see up here, and of course this data changes so quickly, what you have in front of you, you can see that first choice applications, we have 336 sophomores, and that's increased now, but again, I'm gonna stick with the data that's in front of you, that have applied to come to this school here for next year. 13 11th graders. You can see the labs that of great choice there. And again, in my notes to you, I talked about cosmetology, of course, being number 1, and then of course, metal fabrication, where we were just down being up there as well with 30 students. So again, this information I wanted to share with you. I don't think it was part of your program, but I can get this out to you. And then of course, I broke down the applications by the sending schools so you could see this data. And then in the small print underneath there, that's the program, your district, by which programs your students are picking. So I think that should be of interest to you as well there. So again, this data changes so much there. I'm gonna flip over, and you don't have it, I have it in front of me. Today in my admin meeting, I wanted my admin team to start understanding. It's up to 358 sophomores, 17 juniors. We now, looking at this data and getting ready, we're gonna have 7 programs with a waiting list. okay? 7 programs that will have a waiting list, and those 7, of course, are auto body, computer programming, construction trades, cosmetology, early childhood education, electrical engineering, and metal fabrication. So again, this is the conversations that the superintendents and I are having quite a bit, thinking, okay, maybe we might want to think about, instead of a new program, maybe expanding the program, okay? Something that I've talked about here many years that I've been here with Dr. Eldo Jackson, who was here. Are we in the business of educating, or are we in the business of, satisfying the high priority occupations and things of that nature? So I've got the superintendents thinking about that. We might be talking to you more about that in the future. A perfect example, when you take a look at this, I'm gonna use the data that's in front of me, but even up there, cosmetology has 63 students that pick that as their #1 choice. Now, we can all say it's not high priority occupation, but I can beg to differ. I think, Dell, your daughter's working in this and doing very well in the industry. So again, we know the state's not recognizing that, but these folks are making a good living at this stuff as they get out there. But when I say that, cosmetology can accept 15 students next year. That's all. They can accept 15 students. That means to tell me that I've got 52 students, 3 students, that won't get their first choice. So again, this is where we're talking as superintendents, what do you want to think about? But this is the type of conversations that we'll be having. But again, if you want that information, I sure can share it to you as it changes, but the superintendents get this as well. Question?
Is that on your report?
I don't think, Mike, this isn't on my report. We had to go out, but I can get this to you, Steve.
I would
Okay?
appreciate it.
Yep, I'll send this out to you. And as a matter of fact, I'll make sure you get the most updated information, okay?
Looking at the districts there, and Michael's not here, so I don't pick on Mill Creek too bad, but 34, I mean, they're talking about the same as Fairview there, and right, is that normal that it starts out, or are they a little late? Like a lot of those numbers coming in, or are they down that far?
They are down, I mean, especially because, again, like I said, without Michael here, I don't want to pick on him, but again, Mill Creek has declined over these years. I know when Dr. Walker was here, he and I met with Bill Hall, and we showed Bill the decline that was happening, over the years. Like I said, when I first got here, Mill Creek was probably 175 students strong in our building, with enrollment over that for the 3 years, students. Now they average probably about 125 to 130.
Still, that's not down too bad, that's terrible.
Well, no, this is gonna be a concern, but again, when we start looking at what's coming back to us, where that falls, I don't have in front of me right now, Sam, but again, this number is a concern and stuff like that, so.
Joe, back to what you were saying about like cosmetology, you're gonna have 50 kids that are gonna lose their #1 choice.
Right.
So that would be incoming sophomores.
That would be incoming sophomores.
So, I mean, let's say we wanted to do something, would it be too late to start that next year? I don't know what
well,
you're thinking.
Right now, with the superintendents, and of course, with the admin team, we're throwing out there the possibility of doing it. But again, we're gonna have to react quickly, Steve, because of it'll affect the domino effect, because Dell and I have to talk about where to strategically put that new, it wouldn't be a new program, it'd be an add-on,
Of those 52 kids, if they don't get their #1 choice, are we gonna lose them?
We probably, because they do have their other choices that we don't know what their second choice really is, but sometimes last year, we lost those girls. I mean, they were adamant that they didn't want to go to another program. Some of them will go to their second choice. But again, I always say that, for the most part, the second choice is how successful are they going to be. A lot of times, we're lucky. But again, especially with this disconnection.
Odds aren't in our favor.
Right. So, but again, we've been talking about that. So that's why I wanted to share that
With
with
the
you.
state, it's probably a lot easier to expand a program than it is to add less work.
Sandy Carr right now, who helps me with the curriculum and the president, we could not, if we didn't have cosmetology, we wouldn't get it approved for this school because it's not a high priority in this area. But to add on to our program, we can do that with no questions asked and stuff like that, so, yeah.
And how do you determine which kids get in and which kids don't?
Yes.
Well, what happens here is now, we went to an equal, back, I don't know how many years ago it was when we changed the formula and stuff, but everybody gets equal seatings now. okay?
School district.
It's school district, so you all have 4 seats to each program, okay? 4 times 11 is 44, all of our programs is 48, so we have 4 seats for Erie County Technical School. So what happens there is when we get into this evaluation for cosmetology, because I've been working on it, right now, Girard has 5 students returning next year into our program. They have no student who would get in picked next year for cosmetology because they have 5. McDowell has 4 returning. They have no seat openings. So everybody is guaranteed 4 seats. Then as we go through that and the selection happens, okay, if a seat is available, those other Girard and Mill Creek for this situation, we could give them a seat, but it's after you go through the rating system, but each district is afforded those 4 seats to their school. So that's what I'm telling the superintendents as we were talking in my last meeting. Somebody asked me, in fact it was Shane Murray said to me, Joe, how would this help us? I said, well, again, instead of 4 seats, I'm going to give you now additional 4 seats. You'd have 8 seats in cosmetology that we would be working with. So again, just kind of planting the seeds there. I don't know where it'll go, Denny, but that's how it's chosen. Then we have a rating system that, how, after that, the
Talk for a
highest
second
score.
about that, because it's beyond the school district, it's the student then.
Yeah, the students in our application process, do a lot of nice essays and things of that nature. We look at their attendance, their homeschool transcript, and so they get points rated in each one of those. And therefore, when it gets right down to it, everybody that applies from Fort LaBeouf in cosmetology, we're gonna pick the highest score, But ultimately, it comes down to your guidance counselor, because we've had a guidance counselor in the past would say, I would like to have this student into this program instead of the highest score student. And again, that's them to share, because we don't share scores with the students or their parents. But so again, it can be, but ultimately, the sending school guidance counselors will work with our admissions coordinator to fill it. But it's usually with the score, rankings of the scores.
Don't want to be in your shoes.
But it's working out. Travis Woodburn's doing a nice job. He took over, but again, I'm trying to make sure he understands his process. So, but that's where we're at right now with that. So I wanted to share that, Steve. I will get that out to everybody. Would like that pushed out to them. Okay. All right. So I'll share that information with you.
And I asked the question at a meeting, and the answer that I got back from some of the administrators were, the reason applications are up because of the new process.
Oh, I would totally agree. I think we all agree with that. We have that school mid process that we introduced. It's an online application process. It starts with the parent, which I think is so valuable. The parent has to start the process, and that gets the parents involved, then the students involved, then the sending schools are involved. But with this, instead of a paper pencil type of thing, the parents and the students love to get on that computer and submit those things and stuff. And with our open house, I know that Sandy and Michael and Lisa Scalise were pretty doggone busy helping students do applications right here when they were on open house for us. So, yeah, so that was a great thing. So, all righty, on to the next thing, Sam.
Building renovation informational update.
First of all, I think you're going to share your information, right?
Yeah, I can.
Jessica?
Which one do you want?
Yep, that one. That one's fine. Thank you. Okay, so the project status through November 2022, we paid the contractors 64.87% of the work. They claim they have 69% of the work completed, and we paid them 64.87. In the change order, if you go to the next page, please. The change orders, Perry had a change order in October, change order number 9. And in November, they have change order number 10. So, we have change orders for Perry in the past 2 months. If you go to the next page, please. Church of Murdoch also had a change order in October, change order 13. You'll see it there for 13,646. And if you go to the next page, please. Contingency, we spend, including change orders, we spent $628,000. I out of the 2 million, so there's $1,371,000 left there of contingency money. And the next page is the furniture and equipment. We've spent $102,742, so we still have $1,572,258 remaining. But the last page shows Mike's worksheet, his projection of what he's going to use out of that furniture and equipment fund. You see at the bottom, he will be using $433,229 out of that money. I've only paid 102, but that's what I've paid, that's what it says, 102, but he has already made contracts and all that for the 433. That's gonna be spent out of that furniture and equipment.
Do we anticipate that mostly done for technology, or is there other?
The 750 is where I'm kind of like,
Okay.
I'd like to not go past that. So that's my like cap for technology, but we've only gotten,
You're committed for 433, but you're anticipating spending 750.
right, because I gotta put some more TV, like the new large group construction room is gonna need quite a few more TVs. Because it'll have something similar to this layout for the big room and some other bigger technology purchases down the road.
That's just like when we had the conversation when Michael Linder was questioning, were we going to strategically give everybody so much money? And I told him I didn't want to approach it that way because I want to make sure Michael, with the technology upgrades that we want, so Mike Miller's process, but also I think our staff done a nice job, like when I gave an example what Tour and Hospitality invested in their program. I didn't have to give him amount, it was a reasonable amount. Right now, I'm working with Jessica and we just met with Auto Tech because Auto Tech just got into their lab after Thanksgiving break, they came back. And so right now, they're giving us realistic, costs they want to improve that. And so therefore, not telling them what they're gonna spend, we can make a good decision and hang on to that idea, so.
Every lab is so different.
Yes.
In scale.
Well, like Lyle Taylor down here, we've spent quite a bit of money with Lyle through the ARPSer grant, when he talked about that $73,000 virtual. That all came with you guys approving the ARPSer grant that I proposed to you. So again, these just different strategics, precision machining, we just moved them into there, but for me to spend a lot of money in precision machining when we had the donation of about $150,000 and then some grant money in there. So again, we don't have to, give them a set amount. We can strategically do that, so.
And all of this is in a tab online there in Board Docs to look at. I know it's hard to see up there, but that's all available. They keep
So the
updating.
project is 69% done.
Well,
Wrong, right?
that, when Jessica gave me that percentage,
That's what they say we
Yeah,
have completed.
that's where Dell and I.
Ask Gilbert, that's right.
Yeah,
That's why I'm looking this direction.
So to help out a little bit, they've done a lot of work on the additions. Some of the additions are just shy of door handles and some glass that needs to be put in and stuff like that, so we can't really occupy those spaces. So they're not 100% complete, but you have all three additions, which are almost done. When we moved into the north addition, east addition's almost done, security hardware, those kind of things. And the south addition, they're really banging it out right now, because that's really the only place they had to go next, because they did nothing elsewhere, any place else where we weren't occupying. So if you were to count the additions, we're 60-some%. If you take the additions out of it, they've only touched about 30% of the building.
I've been pressing them pretty hard in our job conferences. Like I said, we talk about 60 to 65% of the funding being spent. When I tell them, I don't have anything complete yet. There's not one thing that's completed yet. And also, you've only touched 7 labs here. That's out of 18. They've only touched 7 labs.
It's gonna be show and tell.
So and that's it. So again, I've been really, Dell and I, of course, have been really pressing them pretty hard to get some things going and on task. But so again, it's been a long conversation, but again, we are proud of where they're heading to it. They are making progress, and so again, it's one of those double-edged swords. I know Sam's asked me. I said right now the projection is still October, November of 2023 to be really finalized. I just made a statement there. I got a feeling it's gonna go to December next year when it pushes out. But again, after a while, they're not gonna be able to make, or have money because it'll be all paid out. They're gonna be working for nothing, so I think they're gonna be eager to start attending a lot of harder attention to the programs. So, okay. All right.
All right, so that takes us to our monthly foundation meeting, if you wanna go there, or our quarterly foundation.
The one to do that.
Well, I'm sorry, it says monthly foundation because
Yeah,
Joe wanted it to talk about.
What I'd like to do, and I appreciate it, it's quarterly, but I'd like to suggest Career Street's in the rears of us. If you remember, Career Street used to monopolize the
Yes.
foundation meeting.
Yeah.
I'd like to bring back the idea that we do have a monthly foundation meeting, because this meeting's gonna take us all of maybe 15, 20 minutes now, hopefully. And the reason is like tonight, we're gonna be asking you for retroactive for our gift cards. These are things, if we could have a monthly, just to bring to your attention, some of the things that maybe
What's
we
going
need, yeah. So that's why I wanted to bring to your attention that maybe if we could start considering having a monthly foundation meeting on our agenda every month, that'd be great, I think, so. Okay, that's why I wanted to bring that to your attention. Now we can go to the quarterly one if you want to and stuff.
Just a point on that, Joe, I think you could schedule the monthly foundation meeting, and if you have nothing to do, you just cancel it.
Yes, yeah, that's a great suggestion Tim had, but again, just to put it in front of us. Okay,
Be on there if we need it, if we don't.
Yeah.
We just keep moving.
right. So, okay.
Or you could just call roll call and say we're here, and then say no business required, we adjourn it.
That's simple.
Either way,
Okay,
let's-
thank you. Yep,
All
so,
right. Moves us to the foundation meeting. I'd like to call the Erie County Technical School Foundation December 20th meeting to order. No roll call as of yet because we have some appointments. All right, we have, let's see. We have some appointments tonight for district appointed representatives. There's two. One being Mark McManus, am I saying that right? Manus of Fairview School District, and myself of the Northeast School District as a reappointment. All right. Can I get a motion for those two following district appointed representatives?
Second, Gilbert.
All right. All right, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. All right, now, can I get a roll call vote, please?
Mr. McManus?
Yes.
Mr. Thornton?
Present.
Dr. Wise?
Yes.
Mr. Olstini?
Here.
Ms. Frank? Ms. Abel? Mr. Lindner? Mr. Boyd?
Here.
Mr. Rain?
Here.
Mr. Gilbert?
Here.
Mr. Morbe?
Here.
All right, thank you. No amendments on the agenda tonight. Moving down the list to meeting minutes. From, was it October?
It was October.
October 27th? All right, our last meeting was October 27th. Can I get a motion to accept the minutes from the October 27th foundation meeting? Second?
Morbe.
Right. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. All right, on to 4, new business, approval of ECTS foundation officers. We're doing this individually, president?
Well, if you can get a slate, that would be good.
Yeah.
Corey, you gonna take over presidency?
Uh,
Dave was our president, so he's gone now.
I make a motion, Corey is president.
I second it, Dennis.
Yeah, I'll approve, or
Accept it.
I'll accept it.
So, at this point then, you would ask for, are there any other nominations?
Any other nominations? Come on, guys, please.
Move to close nominations.
Second,
All right,
yes.
motion to close. Second? Second.
Dennis.
All
All
right,
those in favor?
all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
By unanimous acclamation, congratulations, Mr. Boyd.
Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it very much. I have no idea.
I think all we have to do now is replace you as vice president, because
Yeah.
secretary, we have our secretary that I don't think needs to be voted on, and treasurer in May is what we usually do, unless you want to change. Right, I'm the treasurer of the foundation right now, but
Good idea.
I'm thinking maybe Steve, vice president.
Who?
I do.
Yeah, I agree.
I move Steve Gilbert for vice president.
All right. Can I get a motion?
Is there a second?
I second.
Second.
Second, Morgan.
All
Move to
right.
close nominations.
Hurry up.
Motion?
Second.
He hasn't said no yet.
Well, luckily,
Yes.
All those in favor?
this is kind of.
All in favor of Steve Gilbert as vice president of the foundation?
Motion to close nominations,
Oh,
it's on the table, so you gotta vote on closing.
Did I motion? I didn't do.
We got motion, just got a motion and a second, but it's to close nominations.
To close nominations, okay.
All in favor?
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And then by acclamation again, Mr. Gilbert is vice president.
Nice job.
All right.
That's the easiest vice president. I was for a couple years, but I never had it.
I'm gonna hold you to that, Dennis.
Well, this is, that's the easier, that's a lot easier than somebody else's job, Mr. Ring's
So we're
job.
good there?
Yes.
Good. All right. B on, 4B, gifts for kids. It is retroactive, correct, of $1,000 to match?
Well, you usually match what we raise,
Yep,
okay, and I'm
okay.
pretty sure, Mrs. Aiken, we raised $680, is that correct? So this year we raised $680 with friends and families for the gift cards, and so usually you match that from there.
All right, is it closed? I mean, should we do the not to exceed, or can we just do 680?
You could, we are taking money tomorrow, I understand, so.
So
again,
leave it not to exceed the thousand.
Right, not to exceed the 1,000.
I would move that.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you very much, I know Mrs. Akins appreciates that too, and for those kids that will be sharing a little cheer with them tomorrow and next day.
Okay. Financial report.
I don't see if we have the money to spend.
Right?
Yeah, the market's pretty bad this year.
We won't look at that part.
No, well, all I have is just reading for the record, the balances.
Okay.
We have $293,000, $801.87 in our foundation.
But that includes the investment.
Yes, that
Can you tell us what we
includes
have cash on hand in our
Yeah.
local accounts that we can actually spend?
So we have, in our Peace Love account, we have $5,765.93. In Northwest account, we have $14,511.67.
We get this covered.
We're good.
Yeah.
And the investment is $273,527.27.
All right. Can I get a motion to accept financial reports?
Morgan, so moved.
Second.
Dennis, second. Leslie.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. All right. 6A, adjournment. Motion. Second.
Gilbert?
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Next meeting, January 26th.
Excellent job. Everyone, and then, so we're gonna go into executive session for personnel now?
Yep.
Are we traveling down to that nice new suite?
We're going down to the next suite over
All
there.
right. I'm salty about that.
If you're not satisfied with that percentage.
You guys are getting to go for lots of walks tonight.
We need to.
They're not.
They feed, all this holiday food?
That's right, you gotta walk it off. That's good to talk about. Walk it off.
Our high schools have, because we put all meetings up in our high school, half the time. They're working, they're actually plugging heaters because our pumps aren't in there. Mixers aren't in there. Yeah. They had some rooms they got there. Where the codes is.
So am I starting this or do you want to start this? I don't care. You all want me to join to start the meeting, or do you want the solicitor to start the meeting?
They cleaned up more.
I'll start then. You're good. We want to pay him extra. Double. Double duty.
It's more for speaking.
Everywhere. I'll wait for Mr. Lesnick to return.
I'm listening.
Are you? Well, let's call this meeting to order and join me for a moment of reflection. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's see, we do have some new district appointed committee. Corey is back, and I wrote it down here, Mark McMantis from Fairview is joining us.
Welcome, Mark.
So we need to approve their appointment.
So move, Gilbert. Second, Boyd.
Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Great, carries, welcome. Now you're really official. Roll call.
Mr. Hernandez.
Here.
Mr. Thornton.
Here.
Dr. Wise.
Here.
Mr. O'Leary.
Here.
Ms. Brink. Ms. Abel. Mr. Lindner. Mr. Boyd.
Here.
Mr. Rain.
Here.
Mr. Gilbert.
Here.
Mr. Morvay.
Here. That takes us to chairperson election. The floor is open for nominations.
I nominate Sam Green.
Second.
Are there other nominations?
I move to close.
Second.
Move to close, you got all that?
Yes.
Jessica?
Then Celeste. Second.
All those in favor of closing nominations?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. What's the term then?
Acclamation, everybody voted yes.
You don't have to vote again.
As chairman.
Well, thank you all very much. You have one more year.
Congratulations.
See what happens. You never know. And of course, none of us are guaranteed that, so we'll see. Vice president or vice chairperson election. Current vice chair is Corey.
You did a good job.
I nominate Corey.
Second.
I'm sorry.
Can you do a second for nomination?
Get that. He's trying to decline over there.
You can't nominate somebody who declines.
Steve.
Why do you want to do both?
I'll try it.
Thank you.
So is that,
I nominate Steve.
you get your nomination?
Second.
Corey seconds. Any other nominations?
Move to close. Second to close.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor of closing nominations? Opposed? Great, and then,
You just can't miss any meetings.
okay, I'll see what I can do. I think there's March and May and for sure July and November.
Memorial Weekend, I'll be camping.
That's true. All right, well, thank you, welcome. And then because we do have a vacancy in treasurer, we usually do this in May, we need to fill that. So open the floor for nominations for treasurer. difficult job. Any other nominations?
I guess I can accept that.
Somebody want to move to close?
Move to close.
Second? Move and second to close. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries, great. Do we need, anything to put him on?
Yes, you do though.
Do we need a motion to add him? Because he gets added, his treasurer, I think, gets added to bank accounts and, signature, whatever we need.
Okay.
Motion to fill out all necessary paperwork as treasurer.
Somebody like to move that?
So moved, Gilbert.
Second, Boyd.
Although, any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries, good. And it shows up right on your online banking, everything's the same bank. It's like your bank. Can't touch it.
It does not.
By the way, the last 35% of the renovations are due.
Yeah, that's true. And they're late.
Can you do that right through your bill pay?
Auto pay.
All right, amended
Parents
approval.
payment? Can
I
hold
think
that?
we do have, we have not missing the page, no, those. Amendment approval, we do have one thing to add to the agenda tonight, and that is to approve the classified contract, early bird, and we want to add that where?
I thought that.
Well, we're gonna add it, but we're gonna add it to the agenda, so.
As amended.
Yeah, we're going in under 9.
We put it under
9E.
There you go, 9E.
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 That's what I thought, but I might took it
Yep,
wrong.
9E, so classified contract. Oh boy, I got out of order here now, so. Somebody want to move, is there any other amendments that need to be added? If not, I entertain a motion to add that to the agenda.
Morve, so moved.
That's good. Second, Dennis West.
Moved and seconded, any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. All righty, then, meeting minutes, October 27th,
We had approved the agenda. Or did
just
We
added.
approved it with the amendment.
Okay.
I'd like to approve the minutes this month.
Motion, Boyd.
Cory,
Second, Gilbert.
any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Great, student accomplishment, we've done that. Anything more on student of the month? Got the list there for us to look at. Very good.
Again. Once we,
They were under operations, and just before that, I will,
How many
We've got-
children natural?
we had a executive session to discuss personnel just prior to this meeting, so I want to forget that. So we got,
I have a question on 4C on the national, like Dennis was asking. How many kids did that include? I saw the big picture.
That was, Mrs. Akins, I think one of the biggest crews that we had in National Technology Society, so
38 new inductees, if I'm not mistaken. So it was quite considerable. The advisors were a little apprehensive with that many because they've never had it before. But I shared with them that when I was previously an advisor in another county, I had roughly that many from year to year, and I said, the more the merrier, you know, if they've earned the accomplishment, why not? And so I think they're very pleased. They did a winter retreat the first week of December, and so they had to tweak things to accommodate that amount of kids, but I stopped down and visited, and they were doing a fantastic job, so they're excited.
Is there an electronic list of the kids that are members? That are members?
I believe we shared that last month, but I can get that pushed out to you with the ones that rolled over from last year and the new inductees, so the membership as a whole, absolutely.
Thank you.
Yep.
all right, guest and public comment. Anybody like to address the board? Important items coming to ECTS. Christmas is coming.
Christmas is coming, yeah, that's,
Last day of school is,
last day of school will be this Thursday, the 22nd, and of course, we'll return on January 3rd this year.
takes us to operations. Got the approving of the donations, you got field trips. Got some curriculum. JOC dates for next year, and it's on here is just like it was, again, no meeting in July and no meeting in November scheduled. If there's a special meeting needed, we can accommodate that at the time. This is where that, the van, the transit vehicle is on there. Nutrition, ending the contract with them, a visa limit increase, and an agreement here with collective bargaining on, I think that was for the extracurriculars. Right. Then old business. 6.
Which, now with nutrition, we still have contract with them, right?
So Nutrition Inc., we are pulling out of that, Dennis. It just, like I said, we weren't getting what we talked about. So again, we pulled out of it, and they've done a wonderful job supporting us. Actually, they're gonna be helping us out with our Christmas luncheon. So, you know, the relationship that we had with them, but again, our instructors wanted to, you know, use some other buyers and things of that nature. So again, we are just getting out of that contracted services with them and stuff like that. But we can definitely use them as we are with this faculty luncheon that we're having.
Yeah, because I know we use them all the time, I know.
Yeah, but like I said, what we were doing is like that, Sam just mentioned me tonight, our kids have been producing our meals, and so they really haven't been.
Our kids are doing all this.
Yeah, so again, that's why we're pulling ourselves away from them right now. So it was costing us about, I wanna say roughly about $2,000 a month. It's probably underneath that, but again, it wasn't where we could save this money now, and we thought it'd be best to do that, so.
Okay. And that was part of the original contract, was that we could end, I think it was 30 days or
30
something
days,
like that.
yeah.
Right. 30 days.
Joe, on the transition vehicle, will 9 individual bills be going out to the 9 participating districts?
It will, and Jessica will do that. How we bill for the transition center, Steve, is we do it at semester time.
Okay.
So again, we'll probably bill them at semester time, which will be around January. Each one will get, now we'll make sure they know that that cost is in there.
Around
But,
5,500?
Yes, about
districts?
that, yeah, something like that, yeah. So,
Okay, thank you.
So that takes us to L, which is approval of all these items. If everybody's okay with that, I'll entertain a motion for everything under operations.
Motion, Boyd.
Second.
Moved and second, any discussion, any other items, questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. New financial items. We've got business manager's report, treasurer's report under here.
Okay.
What would you like to address?
For the record, I'm gonna state the balances. The general fund, cash balance and investment accounts, we have $2,738,914.40. For capital projects funds, we have $12,181,117.86. Student activities, they have $10,319.65. And flexible spending is $13,359.28. We have received 40% of our revenue and expended 32% of our expenditures.
Questions for Jessica on any of those items?
Is this under, when we got insurance holidays, we used to always hear about those, and I haven't heard anything like that, but like last year, is this underneath that we could waive insurance holidays, and we did have to make insurance payments or something? We used to always talk about that when we get extra capital money, something on top
For
of it.
insurance payments,
Yeah, for health insurance, when we would build up a surplus, I'll bet we don't have a surplus. I know that at our home district, that's the case. We're
Yeah, we
actually
should.
trying to get back to the black. But in Norbit, and so they would let us have a month off if we had a big surplus in there.
okay, So is that something you happy for, like the Norbit report?
We did that a couple.
We haven't done it in a while, you're right, Dennis.
And I didn't know how it was going.
No, and again, I think Jessica and I can talk about that and make sure next month we present it to them.
Well, I don't, I'd
Last
see
year we
what-
voted to roll it
Yes.
because the premiums were raising so
Right.
yeah,
so
like I
much
said, I
that we
haven't heard.
chose not to use it.
Right,
Okay.
Okay.
I just didn't want to know how it's going. He said that we're really close on it, or
Yeah, that'd be a good thing to look at, especially if you're starting the budget or working on the budget. Let's say you're starting it, but working on it. Something we might need.
that was
Okay.
one of the highlights. We always said, we'll get a little extra cash here.
That's right. Every little bit.
Right.
Do you, Jessica sent out an email, if you all got that with after the auditor sent out their what's that called?
Single audit.
Yeah, it's an additional audit they have to do now because of that. And I think she explained that pretty well in the email. If anybody has any questions, feel free. But, yeah, and it was on there and then I think it was emailed.
Yes, I put it in board docs and they wanted it to email to all board members. That's why I replied, just so you knew what it was about.
So
It looked to me, the short version is it looked like all those accounts are now aligned the way they like them. I guess that's the short version. Is that fair to
Yes,
say?
yes. And the single audit is due to the ESSER grant that because of the federal spending, it was over 750,000, so they have to do a single audit.
Yeah. Yeah,
For that.
understood.
yeah, with the way that, like I said, we used to only have, here at the Career Technical Center, the Perkins grant. That was the federal money that we would get,
Yeah.
always around 325, but now
And Gear
with,
grant too.
well, yeah, with the Greer,
It's
but
federal.
so now we've got the ARPS, or we had the gear, so again, we spent over the 750,000. That's why the single audit's coming up now. So,
that's where their threshold is. for
Yes.
federal.
yes, yes.
But they're happy now with,
Yes.
with the new changes in the alignment of accounts.
They sent me a new engagement letter this morning on electronic, so I did that with that new single audit added to it, so.
Fair enough.
So we'll get that back in January, first part of February, so probably February's meeting will have that available to us. Okay, so all of 8G is approval of financial items.
Morve, so moved. Second.
Any discussion? First action of our new treasurer.
Has to be the financials.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Administrative Services and Human Resources, we've got a report, we've got resignations, retirements, hiring of subs, we've got, and then 9E. Actually, we should make that 9D. And then 9E would be the approval of all those, that would be the classified country, I don't mean to say that, that's right. So any discussion, any of those items?
I have just one correction on this, under B. The recommended action motion to accept resignation request should be for Joshua Connor, not Jason. The documentation that's supporting it is for Joshua.
Gotcha. So with that correction, somebody like to move these items?
Motion, Boyd. Second, Gilbert.
Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Reports. Superintendent report?
Mr. Emmerich sends Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everybody. Sorry he couldn't be here. Again, as anybody knows Rick, he's eager to get out of that house of his, but again, his knee's not cooperating, and believe it or not, his doctor's not cooperating. The doctor told him he's got to stay home longer. So again, he wanted me to just send his best wishes to you and let you know he looks forward to seeing you in the new year.
We'll right on to your report.
All right, there's just a few things in my report that I'd like to bring to your attention. The RCTC program, that's our adult program. Again, there's a lot of things that happen on this campus here. And again, the CDL training, with the adult learning CDL, it's been very successful for us. 20 students as of this report. Automotive state inspection and emissions. You cannot believe how the dealerships pound Renee Heberly, who actually is the Secretary of Support there, to make sure that we have classes for these people, because again, they need to get their recertification. So again, a lot of them, 37 students there and 11 admissions. And then, of course, we've been very successful running an industrial electricity class here. They're in their second level there. So again, about 16 students there. Also, right below that, the Erie County Community College. Again, this campus is being used at night in that skills center. They ran 2 sessions in the fall. They're going to be starting up in February to May with 2 additional spring sessions. So once again, the welding lab over there is active, and the community college is really engaged on our property as well.
Can you tell us an idea, I know you don't have exact, but what's the student count for that? We're talking about a handful, we're talking about hundreds?
No, we're not talking about hundreds. I'm going to say they picked up our load because we pulled out of the welding
Right.
from here. So they probably picked up about 50 students in welding, and that spring spread out across, I think, 2 sessions there. And then, of course, they got computer networking class here, and there's another one. So I'm going to guess over the 4 nights that they're here, there's probably about 20 students per night here.
And would they have a security guard over there?
They do have a security guard for their evening, yep, and then they have actually a facility manager that helps organize their staff. And so really it's kind of minimal for us, but Dell staff make sure that it's clean before they take over, and they come and they clean up for the next day for our staff and stuff like that. So again, we have a nice working relationship right now with that. So the employee of the month in October was Deputy Christine Yaney. I can tell you right now, I can't imagine having a better SRO officer here. I think our administrative staff, she is really engaged. I mean, she's the Energizer Bunny when you think she's just all over the place. So again, we're very excited that she's with us. And then the employee of the month for November was one of Dell's staff members, Emma Ragsdale. You know when you get somebody else to compliment an employee of yours, and of course Emma takes care of the skill center. The Erie Community College just came out to me, 2 people one day, and said, Joe, there had to be a change in this building for cleanliness because it's just unbelievable. And of course, Emma did tell how to juggle a little bit. And so it correlates. So again, we chose Emma as the employee of the month there. And then on the back side, or on my back side, but just lower, the 9th grade tours and open house. Folks, in your districts, you probably hear about experiences. You know, your school district want to get students experiences with current technical education. Well, with our process that we had here, and when I told the superintendent this number, they were shocked. The ECTS provided 4,144 9th grade career experiences with our tours. All right, when we have those students come through that. That's incredible, it really is. And then, of course, when you think about it, we had 1,382 9th grade students come through on those visitation and tours and stuff. So again, it's been an incredible transition from Travis Woodburn into his engagement and enrollment coordinator position. But again, these touches are very important for you to hear about as well. So that's my report. Merry Christmas to you and Happy New Year. Really, I enjoy you and wish you the best this year coming up. Thank you.
Questions for Joe? Solicitors report.
Okay, my report, Pennsylvania Department of Labor and Industry published their 2023 bidding thresholds. So for purchases and contracts below $12,200 now, there are no bidding requirements nor quote requirements. For purchases and contracts between $12,200 and $22,500, you're required to get 3 quotes. And then purchases and contracts over $22,500 now require formal bidding. So an adjustment, they make that adjustment based on consumer price index on a yearly basis, and Department of Labor and Industry announces those, they're out. So all school districts have to comply with these bidding requirements going forward, including this school.
I have a question. So if you put out something for bids and you want it, and you only get 1 or 2 bids, you said we need 3 bids for this, or how's that work?
You're required to get 3 quotes if it's between $12,200 and $22,500. If you go out to formal bidding and you only receive 1 quote or 1 bid, you can award it, but obviously depending on the contract, you would look at your architect or whatever estimate you have based on an estimates contract. So if you get an estimate in regard to a contract that's, $500 or $500,000, and you get a bid for $1 million, you may want to consider rejecting that rebidding.
Just like that van, we only had one actual, but we did the whole bid process and
Right.
you go online and look at the price and that's right there, ballpark.
Yeah, if it's not market price, then you probably would reject it and go back out to bid a second time.
I just hope you get it this time.
Me too.
So that's all I have for tonight. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everyone.
Principals report.
I would like to piggyback off of Joe's comment and brag about Deputy Yaney. She goes around to all of our programs, both sessions, and presents a monthly presentation on a hot topic for our students. It's a fantastic experience. And she recently conducted one on teen dating violence, so we're very pleased with that. And she also participated in the Shop with a Hero event. So we're really excited for her to do that. She had a great time. Additionally, we worked once again with the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and our facilities maintenance students created 20 wishing wells. I think they're about 18 inches tall or so, but Make-A-Wish wanted to distribute these wishing wells to local businesses for donations. And so they actually just went out the door this morning. They're excited to get them out and about, so you might see them in the community. And so we're pleased to produce that for them. And we're also wrapping up our season of giving at ECTS. We've been doing a lot of student activities building wide. We're still limited with the renovations project, but just trying to get some holiday flair and things like that. And then we've asked our staff to do a lot of different things, bringing in more clothing for students in need, donating financially with the gift cards that the foundation has agreed to match. And those again are for students in need. And then we even had one of our instructional aides bring a list of wish list items for the elderly. And we had 3 large boxes of items that were donated. So just a lot of giving this time of year. So I really like to brag about what our staff has done for us.
Great, thank you. Takes us to E, approval of all of these reports. Motion to approve.
Second, Gordon.
Moved and seconded. Any more discussion or questions or anything? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Very good. So we have supplemental reports information there, I think, for your review. Is there anything that needs action? Don't think there is. SDOC's report in there for where we're at to go along with the financial report. All righty, well, that takes us to 15, which is adjournment.
Motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Do I want to stay or do I go home? In favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Great. Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy New Year. See you at the end of January. So,
Thank you.
yeah.